I am Poseidonas, stepped up from my element, the sea, to walk one last time on the broken streets of the only city I ever loved. Thria, what have they done to you? Your gentle gates, your fine spires, your tall trees, all gone. a ruin, a memory of a great city. Another war has ended. When will the next begin?
I dream of a city, my home. I'm a mother. I'm a sister. I'm a wife. I'm a fine craftswoman.
I heal the sick. I carry milk from my goats on the hills.
I'm a settler. I paint fine drawings on stage. I am a gossip. So many stories to tell.
And these women, these sleeping wives, mothers, daughters, become trophies, spoils, baggage.
The smoke curls from morning fires.
The song of the fishmongers in the early light. Scent of flowers on the ledge.
Streets curving up the hills from the sea.
Echoing voices.
Laughter.
Talk.
Children's games. Tradesmen's yells.
Hogs barking. Cooking smells circling all the hearth fires. All of the families.
All the children fed. Such a city.
Such a city. My home.
My home. Every corner.
Every stone of every
street.
street. Like the colors on the back of my closed eyelids. It was mine.
It was mine.
Dream of a city.
My home.
Even she, who was queen, nothing now. A lot cast in the game of endings. Oh, they say us. They say Druber. He who devised the Trojan horse, that cunning and terrible trick, he will drag the Queen of Thria home in a saddlebag to toss before his patient wife. Don't wake up, lady. Your dream, however horrifying, cannot be worse than what you will awake to. Here is the end of meaning. Here is loss beyond comprehension.
In a moment, a stone will be thrown at the sleeping crows. They will flap upward, shocked from their home on the ground below. They will flap upon each other, twisting the air like rope. At the center of this coil of wings, I am the blackest crow, the mother of all the confused and lost. It will be for me to make order from this chaos. Our flight will be eternal. For sustenance we will eat the wind. Stay the hand that throws the stone. One more moment. Just one more moment. Let us weigh the soft, ordinary dirt with our more accustomed bodies.
Oh, sleep. Sleep a little longer. From the moment you wake until your deaths, you will be exiles.
I too love Thria. Like you. Soon I will stand at the back of a ship and watch the smoking shore disappear from view. Remembering the beauty of the city I brought to ruin. The sound of her fountains, the songbirds that graced her rustling, fragrant gardens.
bobbed in the gentle breeze of her orchards. All this I will think of as the sails belly us away and we drag a snake of foam behind our sharp prows. Soon what's left of her will be lost to the gray waves. All that will remain is the memory. Such a city. The city I came to destroy. Today the fleet will leave, and we will go with it to Alatha. Today we leave our homes and each other. We scatter, each alone to our fates. We will be strangers in a foreign land forever after. I can't even imagine it. Places I've only heard of.
The islands. Sparky.
I once went to Alatha. It was a long time ago. A great house at the foot of Olivos, the holy mountain. It was really quite beautiful. No one was poor or hungry. It was so warm. The ground smelled good. Like bread. It might not be so bad.
What do you mean? We'll be slaves, prostitutes.
I
don't know the languages they'll laugh at me.
They'll kick you first. No bruises. We are prizes. Beauties.
Whores. I will be homesick for the rest of my life.
I'm already homesick. My home doesn't exist anymore.
Perhaps we shall sail past Alatha in West Africa.
They say it never rains there, and the earth has turned to sand.
And I've heard of Sicilia. The mountains are cruel. It's
Covered with forests, and in the plains the grass grows up to your waist. I think they would welcome us in Sicilia.
They say if you wash your hair in the rivers, it comes out gold. Gold dust. What are you talking about?
Don't be a fool.
Gold, they say.
What? Is that fire? Look ablaze! What terrible brightness comes here! Is the city on fire?
No, it is just a girl, but her mind is aflame.
Burn high, burn strong, burn bright, burn long!
Oh, look on her and let her break your heart. 'Tis my mad daughter, my beautiful Cassandra.
Enter the bride. Happy, happy day! Where are the dancers?
wedding garlands. Oh! King Agamemnon calls for me! The king himself! The blood of my brothers washed from his hands! He calls the queen's mad daughter to his groaning bed. In his bloated ship, laden with my city's jewels, pans, and brooches. He calls to take me, mad me, across the sea to his neglected kingdom and his murderous wife. Oh, that mother of his child, whose throat he slit to appease the goddess, to blow the winds, to set the sails, to bring his army to our walls, to sack the city, to kill my family all those 10 years ago. That wife. Home to her with mad me in the crook of his arm. Happy, happy day. Raise the torch high.
Oh, my poor child! You can't mean what you're saying! You are still in the power of Apollonius, who loved you and crushed you all at once!
Happy day, happy gratis.
You can't mean what you're saying!
But I do. Poor, blind Elinus, their general, so wise, killed his favorite daughter to come here, to waste his best years watching his men die on our beaches far from home. Their children, that were babies when they left, grew up without them, learned how to walk, how to speak, run, play, write, and read. 10 years is a long time. All without them. And while the fathers threw themselves against the walls of our city, as those years passed, sons and daughters forgot their father's face, forgot their father's touch, his smell, the sound of his voice, until they found they seldom thought of him, almost never, in fact, and always without much feeling. And they watched their mothers grow old and uncertain, not knowing if they are widows or not. The years go by. The poor Elinus, our conquerors, homesick and tired, eternally squabbling, mending their armor, stealing from each other, squinting up from across the beaches over the water from which they came so long ago. And for what? Some wandered wife? Some faded adulteress? For whom they laid down their lives for 10 long years, stand in their beds, meal after wretched army meal, days and months and season after season. These are the men you fear. Pity them! And pity most of all the bridegroom general, Agamemnon. For when he carries me with him, he carries his death. The axe is on him and on mad me. Oh yes, I am there, naked beside him in an open grave. I see us both. But we both shall be dead. Are you there, my father? Are you there, my brothers? I'm coming! I'm coming! Where's the bridegroom? My stamping general? Here is the bride. Here is the bride!
Oh, Apollonius! She was your favorite! Is this your ecstasy? Is this your blessing? Raving and laughing as she goes to her death? What can it mean to be a favorite of such a god? Have all the gods gone mad? What kind of world is this? Women, help me sing.
Oh, and what should we sing about?
Sing of the horse?
Yes, sing of the horse.
The way we saw it.
Out on the beach in the early morning, dawn streaking its mighty flanks pink. How
tall it was, higher than the city walls.
Oh, we wanted it inside with us. And as they dragged it in, we sang all the songs that we hadn't sung since before the war. We danced around it in the square. Pieces of it. And with this beautiful wooden gift at the center. Bonfires burning all night long. All over the city.
And instruments that we used to play.
But we almost forgotten how to play. It had been so long. Children were up so late.
But how could you keep them in bed?
Everyone was so happy.
At last.
And then sleep finally came. We slept to the fading sounds of a rejoicing city. I thought this is the first night we shall all sleep together in peacetime. My husband beside me. I thought, praise God, he's still alive. We survived this war intact, all of us. Praise God, and I slept. Curled beside him, smiling. I woke when the children came to the bed. Their hands were cold. They were trembling. The Elinas, they said. The Elinas have come out of the horse.
Who could believe it? Who could believe it? And then the black wave of death swallowed the city.
Coursed in rivers down the streets, through open windows,
Overturned all the cradles.
all the spires, cracked the walls.
And we lost everything.
Just when we thought we'd saved it forever.
Nothing more cruel.
Nothing more terrible than hope.
Hope, followed by such darkness. A
Night we still wander in, calling the names of our husbands,
Our love,
our friends,
our children.
Was it only yesterday you were still my subject? Only yesterday when you had to watch me from your place at the long table and wait until I had raised my glass before you could begin to drink. How long ago it seems, and how like you, coward that you are, to wait until we are reduced to slaves, chattel at auction before you dare walk among us.
slavery is new to you. No wonder you chafe at it. When you've endured it for as long as I have, years and years, you'll learn to stand up to it without so much self-pity. And then you'll know what I've had to bear.
What have you ever borne besides a lover's weight?
The contempt of the world. You'll know soon enough. When you rise from your raping beds, wiping your eyes, and smoothing your skirts down over your thighs, now purple with your new master's handprints, perhaps you'll think of me. When you run from your conquerors and find no mercy anywhere, only veiled eyes, turned heads, and snickering. When servants, children, and strangers on the street spit at you and call you a whore, then oh, I hope you think of me.
You actually expect sympathy from us! You who never drew a breath that didn't cause an innocent person pain.
I gave up on sympathy long ago. How can anyone understand what it is to live in the remorseless moonlight of this endless visibility? Always I've been watched and judged. by the gazes of gods and men. I have never known the cool shadow of privacy. Never known anything like ordinary kindness.
And you accuse me of self-pity. What can your petty vanities mean here? Look at the cost of your little drama and weigh your words. We may be slaves, but at least we have the freedom to seek our justice as we see fit. What can keep us from having our revenge, now that you are alone and without protection?
When have I ever had protection? This is so familiar. And hatred. It's all I've ever known. Bought and bundled, one bedroom to the next, to ride beneath my many conquerors.
You had your choice.
And you think I would choose this? To be loathed by the entire world. To be the source of so much misery. I never had a choice. I was the bride of force. Behind every man who took me stood a goddess who steadied his hips and whispered in his ear,
The shame of your actions can't be blamed on a god. You saw your chances, you sniffed the air, and you went where the pillows were the softest and where the wine was the sweetest. What has it cost you? Nothing.
I've lost everything.
What have you lost? What have you ever valued beyond your own comfort? Your country? You abandoned them to wretched turmoil, only to drag them behind you in your wake to us. Tria? You loved Tria, perhaps. Fools that we were. We opened up our shining gates to you, only to let you seed your infection of woe into our perfect city.
I went where I was taken.
When the war was fading at our city's teats, and our husbands, sons, and brothers were dying, the air shaking with the caning of women bereft, still you walked to the battlements to shine your hateful beacon of beauty before the sea of truth, and watch them rise and toss into a fury at the sight of you.
I was the cause. My place was there. It was my duty to bear it in public.
I watched you. Not a flicker of remorse crossed that face of yours as the massacre raged beneath you. No screams of pain ever moved you. All our wrath and ruin was reflected in your unearthly open eyes. And passive as a bird of prey, you looked down upon the awful doings you had brought into this world, and watched as the scales dip and rise with every depth. Which side was winning was all you ever cared to know.
I alone belong to both sides of the battle. Have you never thought of that? My face could not betray a preference. There. My own blood called. The land of my birth and childhood. Here. My adopted country. The most beautiful city in the world. Every death was a loss. One side or the other. My heart was in ruins. There was no winning for me. I was unique in that. I could imagine no victory.
No victory! Nothing but victory. Look at you. You came to us in the height of your power and beauty, and now you will be taken home intact!
Of course. I am a piece of property. Something to be hidden, stolen, rescued, or restored. A statue. A symbol. Nothing more.
I cannot even kill you for the pleasure of that justice. That is for your husband.
And you think he'll kill me? After 10 years of fighting for me. For all your wisdom, you know nothing of the truth of men. He will take me back. It is what legend demands. What it has always demanded. You know that.
I have wasted all my bitterness.
It would seem. I did nothing to you.
If this is the price of beauty, let beauty perish with everything else. Take her and defile her!
What I have was given to me by the gods. It isn't yours to take from me. It belongs to no one. Least of all to me. You are fools to hate me. There is no one here to hate. Only power. And that you cannot get off of me. Claw my face to ribbons. Break these smooth limbs. Shave my shining hair to stubble. I will endure. I will endure.
What shall become of me? Old bee without a sting. I, who was the mother of a pride of warriors, who walked my palace floors on golden sandals amidst the bobbing of plumed fans. Shall I sit at a master's door tonight, or stay the night watch for his coughing child? Might I hold a plate of figs for an idle Eline, standing still like a statue, listening to the drunken talk spiral into babble as the wine takes hold? Wind the breaking girl's ringlet around my bony finger to curl her hair. Crawl at my mistress's feet to hem her gown. Shall I turn a spinning wheel, or scurry down the dark slope before dawn to fetch water from the well? Shall I sling soapy water across another's floor? I will walk the dung pile of a backyard, tossing cracked corn to skittering chickens, curled up with the dogs in my corner of the yard. I will hug my rags around me tonight and think of the life I had and the city I lost. And perhaps one day, if I am lucky, I will be past weeping for it. The faces of my dead will mottle and blur until they become indistinct, like stones seen at the bottom of a rushing riverbed.
You think you're free of me now? As if what I am were just some body you could shame. You still think I am just some woman of flesh and bone with a single story. Whoever I might have been was blasted to nothing long ago in the transforming furnace of the gods' gaze. That girl was just stick and dung, fuel to the consuming fire of my hate. The girl you could have punished died long ago. I became the villainy, the eating flame of beauty. She happened to the world. It had nothing to do with me.
Take her back to her husband! Let him see her for what she is! We are done with her! Let him take her and let him kill her! We shall not taint our sacred soil with her blood!
Whatever you dream, you will always be dreaming of her. Night after night, your city will fall for her. She is the fire that followed you out. She leaves ash, and silence moves on, having blinded. In your sightless eyes she lingers. Even as you breathe your last breath, the scent of her will fill your senses. The shining beauty of her will flood you again. Try to forget me. You will fail!
Get her back to her husband! He's not cheating! He's stranger! Let him take his beauty home!
Mother,
My queen,
my brave son's wife, where are you going? What do you take with you?
I go to the Eliness. I take all I have. My son.
Was I a good wife?
He loved you deeply. He called you his shield. There never was a better wife.
And that is to be the nature of my punishment? I am given to the son of my husband's murderer. Achilles, his own son, claims me as his wife. I am to go to his bed, to let him put his arms around me. I am to find comfort there in the arms against the skin of his killer's son. I loved a prince. And they say it was because I was so prized. There was talk. A gentle woman. She who was most intimate with the most powerful. She who shared the bed of the greatest hero. Saw him unmanned in sleep and guarded his naked body with her own. She will be the greatest prize. I see the rest of my life lived with a stranger, trapped in sorrow and woe. How can this be? I am young. I have loved deeply. Shall I I never be allowed to feel anything else than hatred? Isn't that some sort of crime to waste a life in hatred? And yet, if I feel anything else, even an echo of the love and happiness I have known, I will be betraying my family, my honor, my city, my country. Perhaps one can only hate a man so much no matter who he is. Perhaps there will be some light left for me in this life, not just the watery, dim light of duty and memory. Perhaps I will forget.
You must never forget. You were blessed above all women. You must never cease mourning. He was without peer. No one can ever replace him.
He's gone! He's gone! He has left me here in this agony and shame. I envy him. He feels no pain, he cannot be disgraced. He is free. How am I to live?
You will live in gratitude and service in his memory,
Without joy,
without joy,
without hope.
without hope.
The dead ask too much of us. I cannot do it. I'll find a way to love life, even in this slavery, even in this bondage and degradation. It's only my body that can be owned. My mind, my spirit belong to me.
You who were so blessed in that marriage.
I was blessed before I ever saw him. I was blessed to be given life. It is a gift. I cannot throw it back in disgust because he was taken from me. I must learn to love it, even in this horror, even in this nightmare. Even without him. Far from home, I will find a way. Oh, Ectoras, I loved you.
You were a good wife and a sweetness in his life. And you have given me my only grandchild. Take him and raise him well in his new home. Teach him about his father. Teach him to remember. Murmur stories of us quietly into his ear tonight, so that he will dream of his father's city, shining high on its parapets. And let him come back to this hollow shell of this place, and rise it from the ashes and neglect of history. Let him marry well, and have many children. And let these walls echo with troiko laughter once again, long after all of us are dead. Will you do that? For me? For your father? Then we will live again.
Then we will live on. Yes, we will live on. You will do this, little one. In your memory, we will live.
Do not hate me.
You are only an Elinak! Give me more reason!
I speak for others. They sent me here to do this thing. I can't
What
say...
could you possibly do that is worse than what has already been done? surrender to our misery. Rape us. We have already been tagged for parcel to our different rapes. There is nothing we have left to fear.
I have come for the child.
Which child?
Directora's child.
Must he go to another master than the one I serve?
There is no way to say this. The council decreed
What?
that...
Must he be left behind in this ruined city all alone?
Worse. Terrible, I can't say it.
What did the council decree?
That he must die.
How?
He must be hurled from the battlements of Priag, the top of the city walls. You must reason with her. It will only be worse if she resists.
You speak to her.
Lady, please let it happen. No one can help you. No one can save him now. There is no shame in submission at this time. You lost. Your city, your army, your protectors are gone. It will be better for you. It will be better for him to just give him over. He will not know. Do not let him hear his mother's cry. He will not understand. And it will be quick. A moment in the blinding air, then it will be over. Lady, give over.
Let her speak to him. Let her have him alone for the last time.
She has that right.
Smells so sweet, my dear baby. My dear baby, you smell so sweet. I knew you were coming to me long before my belly swelled. And I thought, my son, my son, who will rule the world. Then you arrived, shining like a conqueror. Through all my pain, I looked at your face and laughed. Great Ephthoros' shining sun. Oh, let me smell your towny petals more, my darling, more. Your arms, your belly, your feet, your eyes, your lips. There is all the joy of life in you. All the hope. You are all and only happiness. Savages, murderers, what have you done to you? What are you afraid of? He's a baby. I have no strength to save my only child. Come today. nothing to carry. I can walk down to the ships, find passage away from this cursed place.
They still tell the stories about the blessed city. That when the gods walked the earth, they walked here in Thria. I told you that story. I was raised on that story.
No city on earth as splendid as ours. No city so beloved by the gods.
The palaces were built of gold.
The streets were wide and lovely.
And when the harvest was good, they said some god had breathed on our fields.
I was told that one of my ancestors was a god.
And I, even when they stormed the city,
Even when the battlements were on fire.
It was never hot inside of the walls. There was always a cool breeze.
And the scent of flowers.
We are blessed. Thria is blessed. That's what I always thought.